Maybe we can get a firsthand account. While he does this, well, let's see. Did you get someone? Let's go real fast to John Rogers because we talked about power outages. He's been looking at the numbers. We'll let Christian gather up some information there. John?
Yeah, you're asking about this, Scott. So I'm taking a look. The problems, they're not as widespread, thankfully, as we were expecting. This is BGE. Right now, only 2,000 customers affected. This is mostly looks like just northeast of Washington in the Baltimore area. Over at Pepco, they only have 798 customers affected. So while still obviously problematic, especially for those homes that are experiencing damage, it's not extensive or widespread, and we keep getting reports in of all these homes experiencing damage from this tornado today. I'm going to show you some more images we're getting here. This is, you can see just the debris littered across the road, how difficult it is to traverse streets right now. This is over near Gaithersburg High School. You can just see debris all over the roads there. And we're getting more videos, people coming or sending in of some of the funnels and the formation of this tornado not too long ago. And we're still collecting these images. We're going to switch over to Steve here in a moment.
All right, just want to give you an update as to what's going on in terms of the active tornado warnings. And keep in mind, these are now outside of our 7 News viewing area. And we have one tornado warning that's just on the outskirts of Baltimore, and that is going to come to an end at 8:45. So about another 3 minutes to go with that. But count them: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 active tornado warnings right now. None of these are impacting our metro area or the 7 News viewing area. But if you have friends or family that live over toward Baltimore and Aberdeen, all looking at those very strong storms, all part of that same complex weather maker that really brought a big problem to Montgomery County. And we still have a few more showers that are out there moving through what's left of the evening and then into the overnight. But I promise you that they're not looking at anything else like we had earlier within the last couple of hours. It's going to move across any part of our area. So in Arlington, in Fairfax, in Montgomery County, Prince George's County, you're in the clear, and now the cleanup is going to continue to begin. Tomorrow I am tracking a cold front, and this cold front is going to move through during the midday hours into the early afternoon. And once we get that out of here, we have improving weather that is on the way. Scott?
Yeah, okay, real fast, I'm going to get to Christian Flores, and then afterward I'm going to explain we've got a new alert that we need to report as well. Christian, you're now talking with a neighbor. You still with us, Christian?
Yeah, we're here. We're talking with Jose. He lives here. First of all, how are you doing? Were you affected by the storm at all? What'd you see out here as well?
Honestly, it just felt like the last time this happened, like 10 years ago. The storm picks up really bad. It gets really dark outside. The wind picks up all of a sudden. The rain just starts pouring down. Before you know it, trees are falling. The sky's lighting up with lightning. It's bad. Like, it's the worst ideal situation for any type of storm, especially here, because I feel like we're not really that prepared for it. But it reminds you of like a tornado, and it was a tornado, if I'm not mistaken. And it's bad. It's overall bad.
And what did you see? What exactly did you see this time? I know you mentioned normally when the storms happen, you see the clouds darken, lightning come in. What did you see tonight?
I really just saw it get really dark. I got home from work, and before you know it, like the sky's really dark and the wind's really picking up. And then all of a sudden you just hear the rain pouring, and I'm just chilling with my girlfriend, and we're like, oh, it's just a storm, it'll pass. And then you see the wind really picking up, and at that point you see the trees moving like violently at some point, like they're rocking back and forth, and trees don't usually do that. I mean, they do, but in heavy winds, it's like, it's serious. That's when you know it's serious. So,
were you scared that, and you hear tornado, and then you see all the damage afterwards?
Yeah.
I guess hindsight is 2020, but at the time, were you scared that something might happen, that a building collapse like that could happen where you're staying?
Yeah, because I mean, the last time this happened, just this same amount of debris and chaos, like, was the result of it all. You walk out of the house, and then you see all this, and you just can't believe it. Like, it's so hard to fathom because you think that, oh, it's gonna pass, and it passes, and you arise from out of your house, and then all of a sudden it's like, wow, like all this stuff just came crashing down. And to see this is just incredible because you remember the force of nature that is always around us, but you see the results of a storm like this, and it's crazy. It's really crazy.
And that brings me to my last question. When you walk out, you see that building collapse. I know there was another tree on top of a house over there, and there was one more in the neighborhood on Rolling Road. Just what goes through your mind? Is it relief that you weren't hit? Do you feel for the families affected by this? What goes through your mind when you see all of this?
It's hard to believe because the first time it happened, I was so young, and I was so distraught by all like the damage and everything, and now it sucks even more because people are really affected by this, and to go through insurance and all the tough processes after the fact sucks even more, because at that point it's like not only do you have to deal with the damage, but you have to deal with the aftermath, and that takes twice as long. So I think for me, just seeing this now again, it's just like reliving it and seeing it all happen once more. And it just sucks because I'm happy that I wasn't affected, but seeing everyone else affected just sucks. It's not even the best thing. It's not even the best feeling to feel like you're okay because all these other people aren't. Who knows how many other people were affected? It's not a good thing.
Well, Jose, thank you so much, and stay safe out here. As Jose mentioned, I mean, a lot of damage out here. It's really surreal to just see all the damage out here from one storm system. And then he mentioned the insurance and the aftermath. That's going to be another headache on top of all of this. And we're still trying to figure out what exactly the status of the one trauma patient who was pinned in this house, what that patient with their latest status is. But as soon as we get more information, we'll be sure to keep you posted.
Yeah, Christian, and if you don't mind, we want to use that live camera you've got that you're using right now. If you can have your photographer, I figure who you're with, if you can have them just kind of pan around and show some of the neighborhood. I want to update our viewers on some information that needs to be relayed while we look at some of these images. Can you have us just see a little bit more?
Well, Scott, one moment. I was just told that Pete Pieringer, who's the public information officer for Montgomery County Fire and Rescue, he's addressing the media. We're going to go to him right now.
Let's do it.
He's coming up. Yep.
Again, 5 people were in this house. One of the injuries was traumatic. The other, everybody, all 5 are being transported to the hospital.
The one traumatic patient.
Yes, all 5 were. Yep.
Catching an exchange here in the middle. Let's listen for 2
Yeah, I think there are some isolated areas. The street lights are on this particular street, but there are widespread areas of power outage, wires down, and a lot of debris in the roadway. So we're asking anybody to treat any down wires as if they're live, stay away from them. And same thing with debris. There's a lot of debris, particularly in this area.
So we're getting an update there from Pete Pieringer from Montgomery County, but I want to, while we're just kind of watching some of this, tell you that they've also declared
all in the same general area.
They've also declared what's called a condition red. Now, a condition red, I'm going to read just a little bit here, but it's an operational condition declared by the ECC. Usually that's when available fire and rescue resources are inadequate to respond to the number of events that are occurring. It may also occur when the number of incoming 911 calls begins to overtax the capabilities of the staff there. So it was bad enough that they declared a code condition red, meaning in other words that they just can't keep up with the number of emergencies all happening at once, and they have to really triage those 911 calls that come in. They have to limit the radio use for their own communications. Let's listen more.
Just off of Summit Avenue near North Frederick Avenue. This all started, the storms rolled through probably at Poolsville area a little before 7 o'clock. There were a number of watches and warnings. We believe there were multiple tornadoes, Poolsville, Germantown, and Gaithersburg, and Alden, and we have had damage. In this particular neighborhood, not far from here, we're at Dogwood and Tulip. We've had 3 structures, one on Dogwood, one on Rolling Drive, and the other on Holly Drive. All 3 were trees struck a house. People were trapped. This one was the most significant as far as people trapped. We had 5 people in the home here on Dogwood. They were all removed by firefighters, rescued by firefighters, and all 5 people have been transported to the hospital. One of them has traumatic injury. Again, this area has numerous wires down, debris in the roadway. We're still assessing the situation, and again, that's the latest here from Gaithersburg.
Do you have any other info on other regions in the county that were affected, Poolsville?
Yeah, so initially the first warning was for northwest Montgomery County and Poolsville area, which we did have some pictures, in fact, of funnel clouds. I talked to some people during the storm, and they were hunkered down, and they did have some damage, none as significant as here. The storm apparently moved down towards the Soccerplex, Germantown area, continued to move towards Gaithersburg, a more populated area, and we have 3 homes in this neighborhood that have had significant damage. Again, people were trapped in all these houses. All this time, again, this is going into the 7:30, 7:45, and I believe the warning was extended to 8:15. All this time, there were also calls for lightning strikes, numerous car wrecks, wires down. Our communications center handled hundreds of calls in a relatively short period of time. But again, the most significant damage, as far as I know, that I've seen, is right here on Dogwood Street in Gaithersburg area.
Pete, let me ask you about the incident here. Is it the house behind you? Was it a tree down? Did the roof collapse? Did the structure collapse? What can you tell us about the particular incident?
Yeah, so if you look behind me, that's the actual root structure there. A very large tree went through the center of the house, trapped some people. It looks like it was a bedroom. Of course, you can't tell the type of room it is now. They were trapped under there. A lot of debris. Our technical rescue team did come in here and were able to get them out along with the first responders from Gaithersburg. All of them had injuries. One had traumatic injury. But again, a very large tree crushed this house in this particular area. The other 2 homes nearby on Rolling Drive and Holly Drive, same fate, not as dramatic. We did rescue and remove some people from those homes as well, but I don't think that there were any serious injuries in those 2 instances. Otherwise, damage assessments are still being done, but I believe there's some in Olney area, up in the Poolsville, Germantown area, maybe some damage, but I'm not aware of any structure damages. You can go a couple blocks from here on North Frederick Avenue, in fact, see wires down and trees and debris along West Deer Park Road, also, which is across Frederick Avenue.
As far as a traumatic injury, can you elaborate on the injury? That person was pinned down. Can you also say, was it the tree that pinned that person down, or a part of the house? Can you elaborate on that?
No, I can't really. I don't know. But the tree crushed the house, so the tree and the house were on top of these people.
Can you say anything about the extraction operation? Was there anything in particular you could tell us about that? About how the team got them out, how long it might have taken, what the assets, what it required?
So we had real good information from the get-go that people were trapped, the number of people, where they were trapped. So the first responders from the Gaithersburg station were able to get here very quickly. They were able to make some additional assessment, check the people, verified where they were. We did have assets from our technical rescue, which basically comes from Quince Orchard or Darnestown. So they have a rapid response to this area as well. They have a high level of expertise. They have lots of equipment, and they were able to get the people out relatively soon, maybe about 20 minutes. And again, we had the ambulance bus, I believe, is transporting them all to a local trauma center, or at least one of them is going to a trauma center. Others are probably going to a local hospital. So, it went fairly smoothly, but we have the resources and we're able to accomplish that fairly quickly.
How many people were trapped?
5 people were in the house.
5
they
people.
were all trapped. Yeah.
Can you say anything
in this particular house? The other 2 homes also had people trapped, not to this degree, but we assisted people out of the other 2 houses as well.
And their ages?
I don't have all that yet.
Okay. And did you say everyone was injured, or one person was pinned down? How many were rushed to the hospital?
All 5 were taken to the
5.
hospital. One had traumatic injuries, the other not so bad.
And could you say, it might be, forgive me if I missed this, but was this a tornado definitely touched down here, or was it heavy winds, or what do we know about what weather specifically caused this?
Yeah, I'm not a meteorologist, but then we have to wait for them to assess it to determine that for sure. But we do have pictures of funnel clouds. The damage is indicative of what would be a tornado. And again, this is not the only spot where we have damage like this. I personally have a number of pictures of funnel clouds. So I don't know if it was the same storm or multiple funnel clouds, but again, we have pretty good reason to believe it was a tornado that hit this area.
You saw some of these?
No, I got pictures.
Oh, pictures, okay.
And just, you've been with fire and rescue for years. Just what's going through your head seeing the damage out here?
Well, it's always, it has a huge impact on the community. Certainly, we're glad that everybody got out and is being taken care of. That's our main concern, everybody's safety. Now, I think there's a lot of danger as far as it's getting dark. There's lots of wires down, a lot of debris. It's a pretty dangerous situation for everyone, so we're asking people to stay away from